So you've now completed the first part of your role as a strategic partner, and that is capturing the existing strategy in a way that you, in your role of scorekeeper, can help monitor what's happening. Now we move on to the second part, the part that I think is more exciting, which is how do we translate that strategy into action? You see, what we should be able to do is take that strategy map and list those objectives down the left side of a grid. And across the top, we should be able to reveal core processes. And again, these are just example processes, not necessarily those in Peel. Things like customer service, bylaw enforcement, communications, property, social services, and so forth. And what we should be able to do is understand how well each process supports each strategic objective. So again, a simple example there, if we think of a order fulfillment process, if you go to Tim Hortons and you order a double coffee and they give you a black coffee, the impact on Tim Hortons is minor. They just give you a second cup of coffee and send you on your way. In fact, you get to keep both cups. An example of another order fulfillment process, say handing out babies at the hospital, way more strategic importance. I will invest an awful lot more to get a higher performance quality out of that process of making sure the right baby goes home with the right mom. So because of it's a critical process on a critical objective, I have higher expectations. So as we rate and rank the impact and performance of each strategic objective, each process rather, against each strategic objective, we can begin to create a sheet that looks a bit like this. I'll show you how to read it. If we take a look at, say, resource management, you can see that they have a high impact, 5, and they're performing well, also a 5, as they support, provide responsive services. And if I take a look all the way down, they're performing well. If I ran the resource management department, I'd be pretty happy because I can see that my performance is meeting expectations. If I ran the taxation group as another example, I'd be okay because I link to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 strategic objectives, and I only have 1 yellow. That's a pretty darn good average. So again, if I looked at it by my silo, the processes I own, I feel good. The dilemma is this. If I look at it horizontally by strategic objectives, I'll see that some objectives we're going to do well at. So, for example, enhancing community participation, you can see I'm green horizontally all the way across. But the next objective, balanced responsibilities, you can see that I'm not going to achieve that objective because every single process that touches it is performing below target. So even though in taxation I'm only failing on 1 strategic objective, because everyone else is also failing on that same 1 objective, we have a perfect storm. And this is usually invisible to organizations. It's invisible because we don't have that horizontal view across the organization by strategic objective. And this is critical. In fact, to help it make more visible, we can actually mathematically give that a score to produce a chart that looks like this. So in this case, if we take a look at the objective of promote partnerships, the height of the bar represents the level of process support we need to make our stakeholders happy. The blue portion of the bar represents how we're currently performing, and the gold portion is a gap between current performance and what we need to achieve. So what this allows us to do is level set the playing field. Now the entire organization can see how we're performing in accordance to what our stakeholders expect from us. So again, I'm going to use an out of business example. If you think of staying at a hotel, everything could be outstanding in that hotel, check-in, lobby, restaurants, the bedroom. But if in the morning when you go to have your shower, there's only cold water, it ruins the entire experience, not just the one portion of the responsibilities associated with running that hotel. The whole experience deteriorates even though it's just one process. Now, in this case, what it also should do is create alignment across the organization on where we should be investing in our organization. So in this case, if we had the choice between investing in enhancing our community participation with a small gap or balancing our responsibilities with a large gap, we would all agree we should focus our efforts here to begin with. So this alignment across the leadership team and stakeholder team is critical in the public sector when I have such a diverse collection of stakeholders involved. Now, we can take this a step further and take a look at it by process to see which processes need more support. And again, here, we're more likely to invest resources in supporting enforcement based on the larger gap than, for example, property